back to my channel Swanderlist. My name is Swati and I create travel videos here. So in case you like the kind of videos that I post, then please do consider subscribing to my channel. Now about today's video, I think this is probably the most requested video since September 2019, because in the month of September 2019, my husband and I, we went on a 22 days backpacking trip across Europe, and since then, offline and online, a lot of people have been asking us about our budget, exactly how much money we spent and all of that. So in today's video, I'm going to share exactly that with you. So to start off with, I'll tell you exactly how much money we spent overall. So we spent around 1,88,000 rupees per person. So if you round that off, then it comes to 1,90,000 rupees per person. And for the two of us, it was 3,80,000 rupees. I really don't want to make this video super long, so I'm going to jump right into the contents of this video. To start off with your flights. Now we flew from Bangalore to Amsterdam via Dubai on Emirates round ticket, and it costed us 45,000 Indian rupees per person. Now the day when we booked, Emirates was not the most expensive airline. In fact, it was one of the cheapest airlines. So we definitely had a very comfortable flight. Now you can book your tickets cheaper or at a higher price, but I think 40 to 45 is like an average that you would have to pay. Now to travel to Europe, you do need visa, you need a Schengen visa, and that covers a lot of countries in Europe. We traveled to Croatia, which is not in the Schengen visa country, but to travel to Croatia, if you have Schengen visa, then you don't have to pay anything, but that is definitely not covered in the Schengen visa countries. Now having said this, for visa, you do have a procedure. It's not a very difficult procedure at all. You just have to check and you have to provide all the documents and everything, but for that you need to pay, and we paid around 6,000 rupees for everything for our visa. Now to get a visa, you also need an insurance, and for that we paid around 1,500 rupees. I will leave all the details in the description box so you can check it out, and if you want to buy your insurance, you can buy it from them, because from our research what we found is that they were good and pretty reasonable. Now coming to the third thing, your accommodation. Now you definitely need a place to stay in Europe wherever you're going. Now for that you do have a lot of different options. You can stay in hostels, Airbnbs, hotels, resorts, whatever you want. But the thing is, it is expensive. Now if you're a solo traveler traveling, then it's a no-brainer. You can just go and stay in hostels, and it's a lot of fun. Hostels are fun, you meet new people, and it's amazing. But if you are a couple traveling, then it totally depends on you. Now for us, as a young couple without kids, we had two options. We could stay in hostels or we could stay in Airbnbs, considering our budget. Now what we realized is that we really didn't want to stay in the outskirts. If we had to opt for Airbnbs, it was in the outskirts of any city, and we would have had to spend a lot of time traveling to the main square and everything. So we didn't want to do that. So we did a mix of both. We stayed in some places in apartments and Airbnbs, and in some places in hostels. So for that, on average, you would spend somewhere around 4,000 to 7,000 rupees per night. So accommodation is something that you can see for yourself. If you're a solo traveler, then you would be spending somewhere around 2,000 to 3,000 rupees if you're staying in a hostel. And if you are a young couple, then you can see how much of privacy you really need. And even in hostels, there are private rooms, but they are very, very expensive, somewhere around 10,000 rupees per night. Transportation can be categorized in two different categories. The first thing is when you're traveling from one country to another. Say for example, you're traveling from Netherlands to Germany, Germany to Czech Republic. So for that we booked Flixbus, and we got a really good deal. You do have options. You can travel by train, flights, or by buses. We opted for Flixbus, and we paid around 100 euros per person for 5 tickets, 5 journeys. So that kind of covered everything and every place that we wanted to travel to, except Venice to Amsterdam. For that we booked a flight, and which costed up around 10,000 rupees per person. That was kind of expensive, but otherwise if you're doing a smaller route, then definitely I would recommend Flixbus. And yeah, that was a really good deal. 100 euros would be somewhere around 8,000 rupees, and it took care of our 5 journeys. So that was definitely amazing. Now coming to the second thing, your internal travels within the city. Now for internal travels, what we did was we got these passes, and that that kind of took care of everything from the trains to your trams, and even in Venice, Vaporetos. So that was really, really nice. And that you can definitely see for yourself how many days you are in that city. And depending on that, you can just buy your tickets. One thing that you must remember, please listen to me very, very carefully. Whenever you get these tickets, like a 1 day pass or a 2 day pass or a 3 day pass, definitely validate your ticket. So what that means is that when you buy your ticket, there will be a machine to validate it, and that will stamp the exact time when you started using this ticket. And that's how they know that when you bought this ticket and when you started using this. So for example, you can buy your ticket at say 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but you want to use this ticket only at 6 o'clock in the evening. So your 3 hours, it won't be counted, and your time will start only from 6 o'clock. Now what happens if you don't validate is that they will check you and they will fine you. And the fine can be, like, for example, 200 euros, 500 euros. So that's a very, very expensive fine, and we've actually seen people being fined this much. So definitely don't take this for granted. Whenever you are in Europe, please do validate your ticket, and please follow the rules. You do have to read up on basic laws and regulations that you need to follow, and you will be good to go. Now coming to my favorite part about travels, and that has to be food. Now the diet in Europe is predominantly non-vegetarian, but if you are a vegetarian or a vegan, then don't you worry. There are a lot of different options. There are a lot of vegan restaurants in Europe, and you will find them very easily. So you don't have to worry about that. But food, if you are dining at tourist places, then the food is expensive. And about breakfast, okay, so whenever you're going to a place, your hotel or your hostels usually have breakfast. But in Europe, that's not the case. In a lot of different hostels, especially, breakfast was not included, and you could buy breakfast from them for about 10 euros per person. But that really didn't seem like a very good option for us. What we did was that we went to a supermarket, a nearby supermarket, and we just got whatever we wanted. And supermarkets in Europe are really, really good. You will find very good things, for example, like cold cut cheese, salads, and all of those things you'll find really, really nice, and for very good rates. And even bakery items, for example, I was in love with Lidl in Berlin, and I tried to find it everywhere, and it was so amazing. But for lunch, we were usually dining in some restaurant or somewhere. So a very cool idea that I can give you is that whenever you're traveling to anywhere, it doesn't matter if you're traveling to Europe or to any place, just type on Google, where do locals dine in any particular place. Say for example, where do locals dine in Prague? And you will get a list of restaurants which are not really visited by a lot of tourists, but locals really like it. I find that a lot of places like that are very, very authentic, and the food is amazing, and it's very, very reasonably priced. And also, because not a lot of tourists actually visit those places, people there are very, very happy to help you. The only downside to it is that you might not find a menu which is in English, but that really doesn't matter. Like, people are so happy to help you that you will actually have a very authentic dining experience. So just see for yourself if you would want to do that. Having said this, you definitely have the option to cook yourself. But about cooking in Europe, what I find is that as Indians, we are not really slow travelers. And when we are traveling to a place, we have like 3-4 days to explore a place, and to cook and to see all the places, it's really like too much. So instead, what we did, that we had meals at local joints, or like, at restaurants where locals dine. And these restaurants are no way shabby or anything. They're just not very, very popular. And just do your own research, like what are the local meals. And because we eat everything, we kind of had that flexibility. If you're a vegetarian, you might not really have that flexibility. A lot of people recommended that we take something like MTR or something from India, but because we eat everything, we really didn't have that. See for yourself what really works well for you. Now coming to sightseeing and experiences. Now this is very important, because this is exactly why you went to Europe as a tourist. Now, we highly recommend that you go for a free walking tour. Now, if you've seen our videos, our Europe videos, then you would know that in every city we went for a free walking tour. So how free walking tours work is that even though they are free, like you don't have to pay for them upfront, you do need to tip them at the end of the tour. Now, to tip them, you can tip them anywhere from 10 to 20 euros. We mostly paid like 20 euros because we're two people, and it really depends in which location you're taking this tour. In a place like Budapest, you can tip them only like 10 euros, and that's really fine because it works well with the economy of that place. But if you're in a place like Amsterdam, do pay them well because the place is expensive. So that about that, go for these free walking tours, and one day you can go for these tours and then probably see for yourself, like out of this tour, what you would really like to explore, and based on that you can spend your money. Now, about these individual tours like boat tours, or like if you want to go to a concentration camp, these tours are specifically paid tours, and it would cost you somewhere around 15 to 30 euros per person. And even to go to places like, to go see a view, to go to a tower, all of these things you do need to pay. Like in Prague, we went to these towers to get a really nice view of Prague, and for that we paid around 4 euros. In some places it's 10 euros. So that for specific places it's all different. Another really cool thing about Europe is that you can walk a lot. It's really nice to walk. It's beautiful everywhere. You will find something unique, and that's a very good way to explore a place, and you'll be saving money, and also it's a little bit of workout. Now, if you calculate, we spent somewhere around 20 to 30 euros in every city, and that's how much I think an average person would spend. You can obviously spend way more than that if you want to see all the museums and everything. There are a lot of museums in Europe, but for us, we kind of didn't want to do that. We figured like what we wanted to do and what we actually wanted to spend our money on after doing our walking tours, and that's how we went about it. First one, I repeat again, please validate your tickets for trains, trams, vaporetos, everything. Do validate. It doesn't matter if you see the machine or not, ask somebody, but definitely do validate. Second thing, supermarkets are your really good friends in Europe because they're good, they're inexpensive, and you will find value for your money, and that's where locals actually buy their things from, so it's got to be good. Talking about where locals shop from, do explore local markets. They are so good, especially for souvenirs or for to take things back home. It's amazing. Like local markets, you will find a lot of local things. Like in Croatia, we went to a local market and we found a lot of lavender related things because in Croatia they do have a lot of lavender. We found some local alcohol, and that's pretty good. That way you're also helping the local economy. The next thing is about money exchange, and for that I recommend that you don't exchange a lot of money. You don't really need to have a lot of euros on you. You do need some amount of money to tip them, to shop at local places. But overall, if you're spending on some experience or anything like that, you really don't need to have euros on you. You can use credit cards, and they have this no touch thing in Europe. Everywhere they have this. That way you are kind of protected against cyber crimes, and you get the best exchange rate possible. If you're taking out money, then you're definitely like paying for conversion, for the bank, the charge that bank charges, and that way I found that it's kind of like you'll be spending a lot of money. The best thing to do is just to use your cards, and you will be really good to go. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it, and I hope this video helps you in understanding what you would want to do and how much money you might spend. Again, this is just my experience and my husband's experience, so we are just speaking for ourselves. You can definitely decide for yourself what you would want to do and how much money you would want to spend. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any doubts, leave it in the comment box below and I'll answer it for you guys. So if you like this video, then please do give this video a thumbs up, and also consider subscribing to my YouTube channel Wanderlist, and I'll see you very soon with a brand new travel video. Till then, take care and bye bye.